In figure 11.9, we're going to add government to our model. So we have two possibilities. We can change government spending, or we can change taxes. On the left side, we're going to show what happens if we have an increase in government spending. That would be a shift up in the planned expenditures. Remember that our planned expenditures before was C plus I. Now we're adding G to the planned expenditures. So a change in G is very similar to a change in I. It's going to cause a vertical shift in the planned expenditures line. Now, if you had a decrease in G, a reduction in government spending, that obviously is a shift downward in the curve. Now, let's take a look at taxes. If you increase taxes, that's going to shift the consumption down, which is a shift down in planned expenditures. And if you decrease taxes, that would be opposite, a shift up in the planned expenditures. Now, let's see what happens with output if we have an increase in government spending. The increase in government spending is this amount. That would cause this change in output, which we're going to have to use the multiplier to identify. And the increase in taxes, which is reflected by the change in consumption, will cause a movement from Y0 to Y1, or a reduction in output. Now, let's look at the government spending multiplier. The multiplier is 1 over 1 minus MPC, which is the same multiplier as we were using before for investment and consumption. Now, 1 over 1 minus MPC is the government spending multiplier, but the tax multiplier is negative MPC over 1 minus MPC. So we have two different multipliers. And if MPC, let's do an example. If MPC is 0.6, that means the government multiplier would be 1 over 1 minus 0.6, which is 1 over 0.4. Which is 0.25. Okay, so 1 over 0.4 is 0.25. The tax multiplier is negative 0.6 divided by 1 minus 0.6, which is this. And our tax multiplier then would be negative 1.5. We have a government spending multiplier of 2.5 and a tax multiplier of negative 1.5. So let's do an example here. Suppose government spending increased by 24 billion. So if we have an increase in government spending by $24 billion, then the $24 billion increase in government spending times the multiplier of government spending, which is, we figured out, was 2.5. And remember, because the because the marginal propensity to consume is 0.6, we know the multiplier is 2.5. So 24 times 2.5 would give us the $60 billion increase in output. That's from government spending. Now, a $24 billion increase in taxes will cause, let's see what the change in output would be. $24 billion increase times the taxation multiplier, which is negative 1.5, gives us a decrease in output of 36 billion. Remember, an increase in taxes reduces consumption, and the multiplier is negative, or in this case, the multiplier is negative 1.5. Now, if you combine those two effects, if you increase government spending and increase taxes by the same amount, now think about that. If you increase government spending 24 billion, increase taxes by 24 billion, you're going to have a balanced budget. But what ends up happening is the net effect of the change in government spending and the change in taxes have a net effect of a $24 billion increase in output. That's kind of interesting. If you think about it, a $24 billion increase in government spending, a $24 billion increase in taxes, increases output by the exact same amount, 24 billion. Maybe we can see why that's the case. Kind of interesting. If we have the government multiplier, which is this one right here, 1 over 1 minus MPC, and we add the taxation multiplier of negative MPC over 1 minus MPC. Algebraically, if you add them together, you get 1 minus MPC over 1 minus MPC, which is equal to 1. All that's saying is that if you have a balanced budget where you increase government spending by the same as increase in taxes, then that will cause output to increase by that amount.